Hi, I'm Richard. I'm an award-winning production music publisher, composer and songwriter. I've worked full-time in the music industry for more than 35 years, and I've seen all sorts of collaborations in the studio. They can be the best thing that ever happens to your music, or a total headache, and I've definitely had both. Whether you're co-writing a song or hiring a musician to play on your track, working with other people is part of building a serious music career. But you need to understand the difference between a creative partner and a hired worker, and how to protect yourself either way. In this video, I'll walk you through the pros, the cons, and the practical steps for making collaboration work without drama. Click the first link below if you want my personal help with this or any other part of your music career. Now here's an example of where you can get yourself into trouble. You bring in a great guitarist who really elevates the track from where it was. They realise it too, and now it looks like the track might have some potential for earning money. Suddenly they think they're a co-writer on the track. The problem is that most musicians never talk about money or business up front. Is this a co-write? Is it a buyout, a one-time fee? Is the session player expecting royalties? Who owns what? Who gets paid what? If you don't define the relationship, everyone makes their own assumptions, and assumptions break relationships. Let's start by making a clear distinction. There's a big difference between co-writers and performers for hire. Co-writers are the people who actually help create the music, whether that's writing the melody, the chords, the lyrics, or shaping the arrangement. They're not just contributors, they're co-authors of the song, which means, unless you've got a different deal in writing, they own part of it. So you'll need to split things like PRO registrations, royalty payments, and they'll need to sign off on any publishing or sync deals. Now, performers for hire are different. These are musicians you bring in to play on the track, but they're not involved in the writing. If you pay them a buyout fee and get them to sign a release form, they don't own any part of the song or the recording. But that last bit is really important. It has to be in writing. Otherwise you could run into issues later. So if you're collaborating or hiring, make sure everyone understands where they stand from day one and that it's all properly documented, because mixing up these two roles is where most issues start. So let's talk about the upside of collaborations first, because working with others can really take your music to another level. First off, there's the ideas. Co-writers can bring out stuff you'd never come up with on your own. Maybe it's a clever lyric, a better hook, or just a completely different way to approach the chords or the arrangement. Then there's the speed. When you're on the same wavelength as somebody else, you can finish a track way faster than going solo. It's like doubling your creative speed. And skill sets is a big one. Maybe you're strong with lyrics or melodies, but you don't enjoy mixing, or you struggle with vocal production. A good collaborator can fill in those gaps and raise the overall quality of the track. It's also great for networking. Every collaboration opens doors. Maybe it connects you with a producer, a sync agent, a music supervisor, or a music publisher. This industry is built on relationships, so growing your circle is a big deal. And finally, it's just more fun. There's something really special about making music with other people. It's inspiring and it reminds you why you fell in love with making music in the first place. But let's be honest, there are real downsides too, and you've got to go in with your eyes open. Firstly, creative clashes. Not every partnership works. You might have totally different ideas about where a track should go or how it's best to work on it. And if you're not on the same page, it can be a disaster. Then there's the splits. If you don't sort out how the royalties and rights are divided before the track is finished, you are asking for headaches later. It always gets more difficult to have this conversation the longer you leave it. Not only that, but in music for sync, shared ownership can actually block a deal. If just one co-owner or co-writer says no to a deal, then that's it, game over. Everyone loses out. And there's more admin involved too. Co-writers mean split sheets, multiple registrations with PROs, contracts to be updated. It's all doable, but it's extra work for somebody. And finally, there's the emotional side. If somebody feels undercredited or undervalued, whether it's justified or not, that resentment tends to stick around, especially once the money starts coming in. So how do you make co-writing actually work for you? Firstly, agree the splits up front. Don't wait till the track's finished. Decide from the start, or at least very early. Maybe it's going to be 50-50, or maybe it's going to be based on who actually did what. Just make sure it's agreed and written down somewhere, even if it's just one of you sending an email to the other, or even an SMS, asking them to reply with confirmation of what you've just said. Next, talk about licensing. Can either of you pitch the song, or do you need both to approve every sync deal? These are conversations you want to have before anything gets placed, not afterwards. Then register the track properly. Make sure both writers are with a PRO and the registration is accurate. That's what ensures you both get paid correctly. Don't dodge the awkward stuff. Talk about money. Who's handling the mix? Who's paying for it and the mastering? It's a lot easier to sort that out now than argue about it later. Now, if you're hiring someone to play on your track rather than co-write it, that's a different situation. You need a buyout agreement. That contract makes it clear they're being paid for their performance and they don't own any rights to the composition or the master recording. Be specific about what you're paying for. Is it just a single recording session? Are revisions included? If it's an online session, what format are they delivering in? And keep proof of your payment. If there's ever a dispute, especially in sync, you'll need to show exactly who owns what. Having contracts and receipts will help you do that. One more thing, recognize contribution, but don't confuse it with ownership. Here's a quick example. A one-to-one coaching client of mine hired a drummer. He paid him a flat fee and got back some brilliant tracks. In fact, they sounded so good, my client started thinking maybe I should give him 10% as a co-writer. Now, I respected his decision to want to pay the man extra for a job well done, but if you're giving a co-writer credit of even 1%, that turns that musician into a legal co-writer. That means they get a say in every publishing deal, every sync license, every future use. You're giving away long-term control of the track. If you want to say thank you, just do it with money. If it gets licensed, send them a bonus. If it earns well on Spotify, share a bit of the income. But keep ownership and appreciation separate. Whether it's a co-writer or a session player, you be the one to take responsibility. Be the one who says, let's just get this in writing, and be the one who sends the emails out agreeing on splits or is getting the contract signed. That's not being bossy, that's being professional, and it shows people you're serious about what you do, which ironically makes it much more likely they'll want to work with you again. Most bad collaborations fall apart because of miscommunication. So take care of that and you'll get all the creative upside of collaboration without the legal headache. This has been an example of the kind of work I do with my one-to-one coaching clients. So if you're ready to treat music like a career, then click the first link below to find out more. And remember, if you want to know what a career in music looks like, don't listen to a random YouTuber, listen to someone who's been doing this for half their life. Bye for now.